Hey, welcome back to Giving Chances Farms, and today I am blanching some corn on the cob to be cut off and put in bags so I can freeze it for later on. Sorry about the dog barking. I also will be canning tomatoes, so I think today I'm gonna try and do some more pasta sauce, maybe just diced tomatoes, maybe some tomato juice. This is just part of what I have picked out of the garden. I still have a bunch left, so we'll see how far I can get today. Alright, so now I have the corn blanched. You can blanch it anywhere from like 3 to 10 minutes, so what I'm going to do is, I like using the knife. I've tried all the other little things that you can buy for cutting corn off the cob, but my go-to is either a sharp knife or an electric knife. The electric knife works wonders too, so you just go and you get as close as possible to the cob, and you just slowly go down and cut the corn off, and you twist it and go to the next side, cut it off, and you just keep going around the whole cob until it's all off. Right now I'm using, I'm using one of the things that you stick in both ends when you eat it off of the cob to help, because it just came out of some hot water, so then I'm not worrying about burning my finger. And then just keep going till all of it's off. Missed a few. And then when all of this is off of the cob, then I will bag it into a freezer safe bag. And then what I like to do is I'll use the smaller ones, and then I'll put it in a bigger, like a gallon Ziploc baggie for storing in the freezer. That way all my corn is all together. And then I'll just keep on doing this until I get all the way done. Okay, so I've gotten two ears of corn that I've cut off, and that's about close to like 2 cups worth of corns, and I'll stick them in a, like I said, a smaller baggie. And then what we like to eat around here in the cooler months, whether it be, winter time or fall time, is a recipe called taco soup. What do you guys like to use your corn for? I mean, we also like to use just regular corn to eat with our meals, but we really like it in our taco soup. So if you have any comments about what you like, leave those down below. And I'll just zip this up, squish all the air out of it, and I'll set it aside and keep on going, cut my corn off the cob. And I'll show you in the end how much I've got. I've only got nine ears of corn, so I didn't get much corn this year. We do a farmer's market, so maybe then this coming Saturday I may get some more to try and get some more corn to freeze. Now that I'm done with the corn, I'm going to can some tomatoes. So what I like to do is I stick them in the sink in some excuse me, in some cold water to kind of wash them off before I stick them in the bath. So I can, in the hot water bath, long enough to get their skins to where they start to crack or peel. So I usually let them stay in the hot water bath for, I don't know, five or so minutes, depending on how hot the water is. It may be a little longer. And then once they're in that, then I'll drain this water out and put more cold water in. So when I take them out of the hot water bath, then I'll stick them in here to cool off. That way they're not extremely hot to the touch when you go to core them and cut any like bad spots or whatever off of them. So that's what I'm doing right now. So then I will come over here to the pot and stick them in here. And like I said, they'll stay in this water. When it starts to boil, you can see the skin kind of flake off of the tomato, and that's what you want in order to make it a lot easier for you to peel the skin and to core it. So I get this last one in, and I'll show you what I use to make my different things. So I like to use Mrs. Wag's, and today I'll be doing the pizza sauce, which this one calls for, you can either use 6 pounds of fresh tomatoes or 6 cans of petite dice regular or low sodium tomatoes drained. I don't like to use canned tomatoes. I grow my own tomato plants, so that's what I'm using. So I got a little bit over 6 pounds of the tomatoes, and then once they're done and peeled and cored, I will stick them in a blender to puree them, and then stick them in this pot right here with the season and then whatever other instructions that it calls for on the thing, and heat it up. I think this pizza sauce calls for you heat it up on the stove for like 25 minutes, and then you'll be able to put them in the canning jars, and then you will process back in. I'll use this same thing after I clean the water out, and you process them in, depending on the size of jar, like for 40 minutes, and then you'll bring them out on the counter to continue cooling down and make that nice popping sound to let you know that your lid is sealed properly. So I'll bring you back when it gets closer to time for me to do the other things in the process. Okay, now that the tomatoes are to the point where they're starting to peel, see how the skin comes off fairly easy. So now I'm just going to take them out of the hot bath and stick them in some cool water. And I have 12 pounds, well, a little over 12 pounds of tomatoes that I'm pulling out of the thing to make the pizza sauce, because I got two bags of it to make. So that takes 6 pounds of tomatoes per bag. And then I will, like I said, I'll let these cool off for a little bit because I don't want to burn my fingers. So they'll stay in this water for a little while to cool off, and then I'll peel the skin off of them, core them, stick them in the blender to puree them, and then stick them in that pot I showed you earlier to heat up and simmer for the 25 minutes. And then once that's done, then they go in jars depending on what size you need. Like for us, 1 large pizza, the sauce that I use on my pizza, you can use a jelly jar size. So that's just one for one. I would consider it like a large pizza. So if you were making more than one, then you could, or you make more than one in a time frame for your family, then you could get by with putting them in a pint-sized jar, and then that will make enough sauce for the 2 pizzas that you make. Like I said, I'll let these cool off in this water, and then I'll come back and show you the what it looks like after I've done pureeing it in the blender and it's in the stock pot to simmer. Alright, now that I got all my tomatoes peeled and cored, pureed, and put in this can, or the pot, I will, and I got the mixture already in and followed directions of what it said to put in. So then I just stir it really good to get the seasonings and stuff mixed in. And the directions say for it to come to a boil. And then once it does that, then you turn it down and then simmer for 25 minutes. So I will be doing that. And some may ask why I choose to do a package similar to this is because as of right now I do not have the space to grow my own herbs to process and then put in this, and I do not feel like I want to go into the store and buy them because that would cost way too much. So it's just a lot easier and less time consuming just to buy one of these packets from Mrs. Wax. So that's why. Plus I like the taste of it. So this will go for 25 minutes after it comes to a boil, and then I will place them in canning jars, and then they will go in the big old stock pot and be processed for 40 minutes. And then I will try and see how far I can get before the girls, I have to go pick up the girls from school. So the other tomatoes may have to wait till tomorrow to do. And I plan on maybe doing some salsa, which the canister that I have is the same brand, and it's a mild salsa, and it calls for 17 pounds, which I have plenty of that. I have 17 pounds and more. So my next thing is probably going to do some salsa, and then with the remainder of the bunch that I have ready today and for later, I will probably end up just canning diced tomatoes or tomato juice. So I hope y'all had a fun time canning with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you already are a subscriber, please share these videos with your friends and family on any of your social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.